I basically just figured out another reason why they brought Trump in as bad boy. A not-so-former Democrat, Trump, is actually helping the Democrats. How's he helping the Democrats? Remember Barack Obama winning by a landslide after his big his cousin, distant, albeit distant cousin, but cousin George W. Bush just destroyed everything, started all those wars, and threw a big fit and crashed the stock market because he froze lending. The banks couldn't lend money for like 3 days, which means nobody could use their credit cards. I mean, he literally tanked the fucking stock market, throwing a big red-faced fit. Basically, he did that because he wanted Congress to vote his way on something, and when they refused, I don't remember what it was, but he basically used some executive order and put a court-martial, some sort of block on banks being able to lend money, which means people couldn't even use their credit cards. And it tanked something to do with the stock market. I don't remember all the details. Anyway, Obama comes in with his Progress, Hope, and Change campaign that won by a landslide because George W. Bush played the bad boy. And Barack Obama played the good guy and promising universal health care, which basically turned out to be Romney Care, which is a great big scam. It's a Republican. Romney's a Republican. So the uniparty is pretty evident right there. And that created all this horrible, because it's one big unbundling and upcoding, basically made unbundling and upcoding universal, since Centene Corporation and United Healthcare and Catholic Health have now a global monopoly on healthcare, and Obamacare somehow made it profitable for insurance companies to allow the healthcare facilities to run the scams. So they don't have to, nobody's focusing on that. Everybody's memory hold that. They don't have to make promises of progress, hope, and change anymore. Trump comes in, plays the bad boy. Okay? Now, all the Democrats have to do is say, Trump plays the bad guy, and all Democrats have to do is say, well, if you don't want 4 more years of Trump, you got to vote for us. They're not, I mean, they claim to be, they use a lot of progressive talking points, and faux news, and Donald Trump and the Republicans say, oh, they're leftist, they're radical, this, knowing damn well they're as Republican as they are. Knowing damn well Jim Crow Joe Biden co-wrote the devastating crime bill that has millions of people locked up for life for shit a whole lot less than what Hunter Biden ever did. Oh, but when it's Hunter, all of a sudden they're progressive and, oh, he's an addict, feel sorry for him. Yeah, I'm feeling sorry for all those people, including myself, that you wrongfully incarcerated, using the doctors to help you when the doctors are falsifying their medical records, calling us malingering for narcotics, and then hiding our cancer and whatever else, and red flagging us with federal and state and local law enforcement, who then go ahead and set us up with their snitches and PIs and whatever, basically lie with the doctors to fill up the prisons, who are also using the private, outsourcing to the same goddamn health corporations that put us in there to hide our cancer. The fact that Kamala Harris is worried about losing to a man who has just been convicted of 34 fucking felonies? Has how many outstanding state and federal indictments for racketeering pending, plus all the civil fraud suits that Tish James just won? And she, an Obama girl, one of Obama's gals, can't really compete with that. That ought to be a huge fucking red flag to the DNC that they've lost a huge part of they're not getting over anymore. Fear ain't enough. And it's pretty obvious that it's a uniparty. I mean, people may not be able to put it into words, but our brains still remember shit, and we may not be able to understand why shit don't smell right, but that's why we say something stinks. Just because we don't know how to put it into words, that means the biggest majority of what used to be Obama's constituency has said, fuck all y'all. And McCain, he was definitely a warmongering piece of shit, but he wasn't a convicted felon. He was considered a war hero. And Obama won in a landslide against him. And Kamala can't even begin to dream of winning in a land. She's going to be real lucky if she wins any swing states against a convicted felon tied to, she's tied to, her and her husband are tied to Epstein too, but she's not directly tied to Epstein's sex crimes like Trump is. Look at the 2008 elections. The big glaring contrast between the campaigns that were ran by Barack Obama and John McCain and what we're looking at now. Trump and their Project 25 playing the fascist bad boys, and Democrats saying, if you don't want fascism, go with us. Like it's any less fascist. But there's no promises of hope and change and they're not even promising anything anymore. And they can't even hope for a landslide for Kamala, who was funded by Trump. It was only $8,000, but considering he doesn't even pay his damn legal fees and he's got all these judgments against him he won't pay, that says a lot. And that $8,000 was Trump poured over $1 million into the Clintons and the Dems and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee and the Clinton Foundation, co-founded by Epstein. And he's looking at indictments in Minnesota, Arizona. He's got pending I know Cannon dropped the charges in Florida, and they've got wet dreams about presidential immunity, but that's just DOJ weeding out the corruption at the federal level. All of them will be impeached. All those judges will be impeached and indicted. This is a huge fishing expedition by DOJ. They want to weed out all the moles before they start. They want to be able to put everybody in those in whatever indictments they're going to be filing in the future. And yes, they can do shadow trials and campaigns and charges because this is a threat to national security. When you're running international healthcare fraud scams that defrauds the taxpayers of trillions of dollars a year, keeping people homeless and wrongfully incarcerated, and you're involved with the assassination of a sitting president and his brother, who was a leading presidential candidate, yeah, they can do anything they want. And remember, this involves top Navy officials, the Goldwaters, and convicted fraudster, Trump's Trump Care advisor, Florida Senator Rick Scott. Those are Navy. Jack Corps can do whatever they want. The military, there is no due process in the military because they know you know better. There is no much of a defense. I mean, they'll go through the motions in Jack Court, but shit like this, that's for petty shit like conduct unbecoming, and maybe you get into a barroom brawl. This shit is this is treason. This is top military officials not only defrauding, acting as terrorists against citizens and elected officials and us as whistleblowers and federal investigators, they're literally harming. It's called friendly fire. They're literally targeting their own military, active military, with these scams, and their dependents. These scams are run, the veterans themselves are the active military. They can go to military hospitals or VA hospitals. But their family members who end up being victims of unbundling fraud, they end up losing their property and their assets, paying for fraudulent, outrageous medical bills. Yeah, that's death penalty shit. That's, no collect $200, no do not pass go. Yeah. So these civilian charges against Trump, that's all just a show by DOJ to see who's who. Weed everybody out, see who does this, who does that, who doesn't do something, who does, I can't put it into words that easily, but I can see it. But back to the Kamala Donald Trump shit. She doesn't have to promise anything. Trump's playing the bad guy so that the Dems, his fellow Democrats, don't have to promise shit. And as long as we're fighting each other, we're not calling them out on not promising us anything to get elected, not earning our votes. Trump panders to the Klan, so as long as he promises them that they're going to be able to control their women and they're still going to be able to kill black people dead in the streets and not go to jail for it and lynch and rape all they want to, they're going to vote for him. Well, that's Hillary Clinton. She calls them deplorables. Hillary Clinton does tell the truth. She's just like a clock, a broken watch. It hits at least, it's still right twice a day. Donald Trump lies with every breath he takes, but every once in a while he will tell the truth if he can needle and blackmail somebody. Just because they lie for the most part doesn't mean they don't tell the truth on occasion. They will tell the truth when it's convenient for them. And it helps them look like they have some sort of credibility. For the most part, the Democrats are right about what the left media tells about Trump is accurate. What they deliberately omit is the fact that he's still a Democrat and they're involved in it with him. Same with Fox News. Most everything Fox News says about the left, the Democrats, is right. What they're leaving out is the fact that Trump's still a Democrat and they're involved in it with him. It's called lying by omission. Doesn't mean that you